Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to your end of October reading, general reading, and slash Taurus full moon. Still good 3 days after Dagnabbit. But we're going to dig in and see what insight we can give you guys going for the end of October and going into November. And then, so I'm going to pull a general spread for you guys, and then after that I'm going to pull 2 oracle cards that will give you any additional information of things that to keep in mind, to think about, or that you guys need to let go of to continue this wonderful, great manifestation energy we got going on, you know what I'm saying? Put a little light on things. And then I'm going to backstep a bit and go back to the 8th of this month, which was the new moon, because I intended to do a new moon reading for you guys, but I ended up getting really busy and wasn't able to do it. But I was inspired to write like seeds of intention for each sign, like seeds to plant, because you plant seeds under the new moon and they manifest during the full moon. So since we're still under full moon energy, I wanted to share that with you guys to see if you inadvertently came into alignment with that energy, or you can use it as a seed to plant for the next new moon, or just use it as, little insight to add to your life, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to ask Spirit for clear and direct guidance for Sagittarius, please, Spirit. Please give us insight into anything that Sagittarius is dealing with presently, anything that they need insight on going into November so that they will be greatly equipped going into November. Or any insights they need on revelations or insights that they've received, or things that have manifested into their life with this full moon, almost a new moon energy, or anything else that they need to know, any challenges that they're facing. Please give us insight and clarity to offer to my wonderful Saggy babies, because I love them. Yes, I do, you pretty little fire sign. I thank you in advance, Spirit. So we're going to do your central energy, your challenge, past influence, what's before you, what's above you, or what's below you and what's above you. Said that backwards. So, looking at you guys' present energy, let me turn these sideways because these are kind of big. Oh, BTW, this is like my funny deck that gives me the happy giggles. So, the meanings are going to be kind of funny. So, enjoy it. So, anywho, the present energy that we have for Sagittarius is the yoga instructor. It says, Namaste. You tofu spirit, you strive to become centered in this new age of certified lotus posing warriors, energy healers, and gamified meditation techniques. What are the traditions you are neglecting to consider? Keywords are flexibility, spiritual but not religious, and vegan. That is so hilarious. Okay. Now I'm getting a funny energy from this though. Like, and it's making me think about another one of my decks. It's making me think about a card in one of my other decks. Is it the Hanged Man that I'm seeing? I legit saw the picture of this card. It's more or less like embodying okay, if you think about, okay, like the whole yoga thing, right? Like, we could even talk about the whole new age movement and spirituality in general, right? It's like, and we're all guilty of it. It's like, which is funny when people ask me like, so like, what religion are you? And I'm like, I'm not a religion. So like, what are you? I'm a person, because it's like, we're all spiritual. I mean, even religious, well, some religious people can be spiritual. But, it's just the need for labels and things of the sort. And I think sometimes we can get caught up into the action of things. You know what I mean? Like, needing to display what it is that we do. And I think this kind of makes me think about, like, when I was on Instagram, it's like they have like yoga, like yogis and stuff like that. And they're like, saluting the sun and like, and what's his name? The guy, what is his name? Ultra Spiritual. He is so hilarious. He made a video about this dude. If you have not seen this dude, like, you have to go look at his stuff. Keeping it ultra spiritual or something like that. I forgot the guy's name, but he kind of makes puns, like making fun of like spiritual people and stuff like that. He's like a life coach and a yogi, and he made a video about like Instagram yogis and like how, like, you know, how he hired a professional photographer and he's all like, you know, doing different yoga poses like during the sunset. That's like, how did this person get this perfect shot? There it is. It is like, don't nobody be doing this in real life. I mean, people do it in real life, but I mean, don't nobody got time to be doing all of that stuff. So I'm more or less seeing it as needing to like embody your belief system. And the card is the Judgment card. Like, that's what I saw the vision of. It's like, I don't even know how to say this in human words, spirit. I don't know how to say this in words. It's almost like, I don't even know how to say that. I'm seeing it almost, and this isn't going to make sense, but how I'm seeing it is, it's like, okay, so there's this paper mache person, right? And the paper mache person is the person who, like, what this card represents, right? So the paper mache person that's like hollow on the inside, it's all the stuff. It's the tofu and the veganism and the I'm doing yoga in the midst of the sunset and, you know, making sure that I say, you know, the all or universe or spirit and not say God. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, telling someone namaste every 5 minutes, or, you know what I'm saying? It's like the facade of spirituality. And it's showing like a dichotomy between, and this is kind of hitting on something that Spirit was speaking to me about like the last couple of months, is like a lot of the reason why I left religion is because of the haughty religious spirit, right? Like people who are quoting Bible scriptures but don't even begin to know the essence that exists behind the words that they're speaking, or telling people, you know, just scriptures in inappropriate ways. Like, you lose a loved one and it's like, you know, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. It's like, my friend just died. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that vacancy. It's the fact of presenting the illusion thereof, but not actually being it. And it's like, beside this thing, I'm seeing a person, right? Beside this thing, I'm seeing a person. But the thing is like, what I feel like Spirit is like showing me with this is almost, maybe, let me just keep talking so I can see, because I'm like, is this two different things? There's a person, there's this. And a lot of people are drawn to the paper mache person because they seem to be like all of this stuff, because they're doing all of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's like this other person is over there, but it's like they're being overlooked because they ain't doing all of that. And it's like the vibe that I'm getting from that is like, they really ain't got to do all of that, because it's like empty wagons make the most noise, right? So if you're talking it, you're living it, you're being it, and you've taken ownership of it, it's like there's really not a need to all of that. Like, that's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like a part of me is kind of seeing like this person that's on the side, like, and that's the thing I was seeing, I wasn't understanding. It's like almost the person stepping inside of the paper mache person to give it a soul. If that makes sense. That sounds so weird. But it's like, that's kind of how it's like I'm seeing it. So it's almost like this paper mache person, without this person over here being inside of it, it's vacant. And how I'm seeing that is like how I always talk about my two extremes. It's the fact that I noticed that there was this hollowness that, you know, in any sector, it doesn't matter if it's like new age, spiritual, Christian, whatever. Any type of collection of people that subscribe to like a certain belief system, it's like there's always the ones who wear it like a jacket. You know what I'm saying? Or think that they have to wear it like a jacket. And it confuses, you know, maybe I guess like a new initiate or something. It would confuse them because the thought is that that's the ideal, but that's not the ideal, because it's like they're two extremes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand what the heck this means. I hope and pray that y'all do. But I'm seeing it almost like a marriage between the two extremes. So it's like that middle ground between the two. So it's like the person over here, they are everything, but it's like they're not speaking up. You know what I'm saying? And they're being overshadowed by the thing, you know what I'm saying, that's hollow. And so maybe this is a person that's like a change agent. Okay, so it's like a person who's a change agent and you're like seeing the same thing I saw. Is like the hollowness, and you are the solution to the hollowness. Hope that makes sense. Because that's the thing that's missing. The framework is there. The elements are there, but it's missing a soul. So the soul, the life has to come in to like proverbially breathe life into this thing that is just a collection of things. It's a collection of stuff. But this is the essence that gives it life. You know what I'm saying? And that's the card that I saw. So it's like, as I'm seeing this, like that's what flashed in front of me, right? So this is answering a higher call. So I guess I just told you what your calling is. Congratulations. So that's the thing. So you're like a change agent in all of this, like the thing that marries all of this stuff together. Because I noticed that it's like that same energy. I recognize that same energy. And on this side of the fence, you know what I'm saying? And a friend of mine that passed recently, that was the last conversation that we had, is he was telling me, he said, dude, the saddest thing about, or the saddest thing he sees in the spiritual community is, he said, it's all of the ego. And he's like, it's stepping into doing a lot of these things for the wrong reasons. And that's like what we dealt with these other readings, like with this whole, you know, juju, hex, you know, wishing ill on people stuff. It's like, this is not like that. That's not what any of this is for. You know what I'm saying? Like none of this is about how a person looks or you know what I'm saying? Or trying to seek personal gain through this medium. And it's sad to see that sometimes, because it's like me, as well as many other people, left different like religious orders and whatnot for that reason. It's like seeing that there's people here and you don't care about people. Like you just care about yourself and your pockets. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's disheartening, especially when it's like you're extremely passionate about it. But I feel like with you, Sagittarius person, whoever you are, I feel like you've sat on the sidelines and you're watching this stuff. You're seeing all of this happen. And this is actually something I hold dear to, that Doreen Virtue said in one of her books, where she's like, if you're ever sitting around and you look at life and you see a problem and you're thinking to yourself, man, somebody needs to do something about that, you're the person intended to do something about it. So I feel like you've watched this, like sitting on the sidelines, being quiet, like just low-key looking, you know what I'm saying? And it bugs you. But the thing that I feel is it's time for you to kind of step up, because it's like you are that missing element to whatever this is that you're doing. So it's like, now let me clarify that, because I'm saying this in the sense of like, I'm using something that I'm familiar with to illustrate like, you know, what I'm seeing energetically, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like spirituality or yoga or whatever. However it resonates with you is what I'm talking about. But I'm seeing this more or less as like a call. And that's why I saw this card, because it's the Judgment card. Didn't know it was the Judgment card. I just remember seeing the little girl that was in front of the statue. So it's more or less like you aligning with your truth and stepping into your power to move forward. And it's not just of your own initiative. It's like, this is a call from spirit saying like, yo, it's your time. Let's do this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever it is that you're stepping into, it's very hollow. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of external factors, like with the tofu and all that other kind of stuff. And I mean, that is disheartening. It's just a lot of stuff. We can overuse terms so much that they lose their meaning. You know what I'm saying? To where they lose all of the sacredness because it's become so watered down and commercialized that it loses its sacred value. And I feel like you're one of these people, and it's almost like an old school sagey kind of force on some stuff that's literally stepping into whatever this little paper mache thing is, whatever that represents for you, and, you know, bringing that to life. So, thumbs up. Only took me 15 minutes to get that out. So your challenge is the trust fund card, and it says, you have a great fortune awaiting you. Will you mature into a person fitting of this gift, or will you squander your inheritance on booze, excesses, and island getaways? The key words are fortunate, entitled, secured, irresponsible. So that's again showing another dyad. So the thing is like, you're receiving the call. So it's like, what are you going to do with this gift that's being given to you? You know what I mean? Are you going to step into it? Are you going to decide not to align with it? Are you going to step into it and step into ego? Or are you going to step into it and step into spirit? It's like, it's all on you, whatever you choose. But I feel this is saying the opportunity is there and it's the time. So it's like, I feel like on both ends, you yourself, you're equipped. You know what I'm saying? You have everything that you need to step into your place. And spirit is legit like, here your throne is. You ready? You ready to get this show on the road? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what I'm feeling. So your challenge is really to step up, man. It's to step into alignment of who it is you know that you are, and to be like, the vibe I'm literally getting is like change agent, iconoclast, like revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're almost like a person coming in to bring a whole new age. Like, you're going to come and take this dead, hollow thing and breathe life into it. That's interesting. Why does that kind of sound like Doreen Virtue? It's like her going into Christianity, being aware of all that she's aware of, and breathing life into. Let me be quiet. Your past influence is the social justice warrior. And it says, you protect others from the injustices your parents sheltered you from. This card is so funny. Is your effort to police ignorance in service of those on the front line, or fuel for the delusion that you're a good person? The qualities are innocence, empathic, privileged, and judgmental. So this is your past influence. So this is what's passing away. So I feel like, to be honest with you, I feel like the reason why you have this keen vision, well, one, you're gifted with the gift of foresight. That's very clear, okay? But I feel like the reason why you have this keen vision to where you can discern this, because it's almost like what you're seeing is like, it's so precision and thin, but it's because of your past experience that's given you a very unique perspective of why you're able to see this thing that a lot of people are overlooking. So it's kind of like what you're going to be manifesting is a thing that a lot of people have been picking up on, but just never knew how to verbalize it or even how to describe it. But it's like you have the narrative, right? So it's because of your past, like your upbringing. So it's like, I get the sense that like you were raised pretty sheltered, or maybe you were raised in like, you know, religious beliefs or something of the sort. But it's like you have a unique combination of things where it's kind of unusual. You know what I'm saying? Like, unusual for a person to have this particular type of upbringing, or maybe something that's like common for everyone else was very uncommon for you. So kind of thinking about it, like, I don't know if this is the best thing that's coming to my head, is like if you grew up Amish. You know what I'm saying? So it sounds like if you grew up Amish, which means you have an entirely different upbringing than the rest of America, right? But it's like to leave the Amish, right? And to get into something that is so completely far removed from being Amish, but it's like your Amish upbringing is this thing that somehow aligns with this thing that you're into now that has given you a very unique perspective, which has unlocked your vision to see this thing that no one else can see, because majority of people do not, they weren't raised Amish and then got into whatever it is that you're into. You know what I'm saying? To where without that experience, they would never be able to see that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you having your past experience as well as whatever it is that you got into now. It's like, and you may have even wondered looking back, like, why did I even go that way? But it's like now everything's coming full circle and you're starting to see how all of these things are aligning, and why would seem like to be either a waste or a sidestep or whatever, or something that you looked at as a thing that held you back is actually like that secret ingredient that's putting you in a place that no one else can stand in but you, type of deal, right? So, what is this? I don't think I ever got this card before. Oh my gosh, I gotta cut my nails. You're above energy. If I can pick the card up, Sagittarius, I'm so sorry. It's just, okay, we gotta, all right. It's time to get the nails clipped. The Soul Cyclist. It says, through the trance of rhythmic pedaling, you make inner progress without actually going anywhere. This is funny. Are you sweating to cleanse your inner critic or to better define your thigh gap? Oh my God, these cards are so hilarious. I cannot even. Keywords: healthy, gluten-free, lavish, and sweaty. Oh my word. With this, what I see with this card is the ancient philosophy of doing nothing and accomplishing everything, right? And that's kind of what I see here too. It's like being in the presence, being in that space, being in alignment with spirit, being in flow, and existing in that space and sitting there is how you literally do nothing and accomplish everything. So it seems foolish to people on the outside looking in of like, why are you just sitting there? Like, why are you not just acting on this? Why are you not just doing this? Because you were waiting for the trumpets to sound. And now that the trumpets didn't sound, oh, y'all ain't seeing nothing yet. It's like you thought I was just sitting here doing nothing. That's what you thought. Oh, so sorry that you thought that. You know what I'm saying? So I see this as that. And it's like, I feel like you felt it. You felt this unction, this push, like something in you that's like, you know, if you think about a track runner and it's like, you know, you're down and you're like ready. It's like you were just waiting for that thing. But I feel like the sign has come and it's like now you're full steam ahead because you're in alignment. You're moving when spirit says move. So it's like just waiting for that right time to do this. You know what I'm saying? And your outcome is #Wanderlust. It says the open road is calling. With nothing but a $1,300 backpack, you teach English to children abroad. Novel, like the contents of your travel blog. Will you find new perspective or forever evade life at home? Keywords are spontaneous, curious, minimally adventurous. That is so funny. I cannot even. This makes me think of glamping. So the sense that I get with this is I heard world traveler. So whatever it is that you're doing, these cards are just so funny. Good thing I can sense what's underneath the humor. Thank God. But I hear world traveler. So the thing that I'm sensing with this is once you guys step into this, it's like your life is about to change, dog. I don't know who my subscribers are, bruh. I don't know who y'all are, okay? But it's like, especially with the Scorpio reading I just did, y'all are doing some epic stuff, okay? This is like y'all ain't no little small fries around here. Like, y'all just like, oh, I woke up today. Let me go change the world right fast. Like, let me go start like a whole new philosophy on some stuff. Like, y'all, I don't know who y'all are, but y'all are on a whole nother level. I don't even get it. But world traveler, like, whatever it is that you're doing is going to make a way for you to the point where you are literally going to be like thrust into the spotlight. Like, it kind of reminds me of like Neil Donald Walsh, the dude who wrote Conversations with God. It's like something like that. Like, I'm a writer myself, okay? When I read this man's book, I was like, dog, I have an imagination out this world. But see this right here? Like, Ain't nobody about to sit down and make no stuff like this up. Like, who does that? Like, the stuff that's in there is so keen to where, and I vow this to everyone, like, you literally just have to read it for yourself. Every single question you have ever asked God in your life, and I think every human has ever asked, is literally answered in this book, especially for those who have attuned their ears and not the ones that's on the side of your head. The ones who know how to hear the words behind the words. You will hear a whole nother narrative behind them words to where you're like, I know this man did not just answer. Are you serious? And it makes so much sense. It's like, oh my gosh. But anyway, but I see you guys doing something like that because like with Neil Donald Walsh, this man was legit homeless. Like homeless, okay? And it's like he got a job temporarily and ended up losing it eventually. Like, I mean, like right after he got it. So it looked like things were looking up for him and everything fell apart again. And it's like him getting angry at God, and he used to write letters to people to channel his anger, which is something I tell my clients to do too. But it's like he decided, why write letters to all these people when it's God's fault all my stuff is messed up in my life? I'm about to write a letter to him. And he wrote a letter doing like, you know, like how, you know, we channel. It's like in essence he's channeling, but it's doing like automatic writing, and God answered heavily. You know what I'm saying? So I sense like that vibe with you guys. So it's like what you're doing is something that ain't never been done. But it's, and Neil is a really great example of this. It's like you're putting life into this thing that was once hollow and void, that just, it stood for some stuff, but nobody felt it in their soul. You know what I'm saying? It was not moving people. It wasn't thrusting people to a higher level of awareness or consciousness or growth or evolution. But it's like, I feel like you're about to speak life into dead souls. Like, that's how real this is. Like, you're literally going to be saying things to people that are not even asleep. Like, they comatose on some stuff and have been for decades, but you're going to speak words and they're going to come to life. Like, that's how legit real I sense this. And I feel like this is going to take you all over the world. I don't know how these readings get so serious. Lord have mercy. Well, all right, Sagittarius. Goodness gracious. Oh, okay. Two cards fell out. Let me pick this other one. And then after I read your oracles, then I'm going to read you guys the little intention seed blurb thingamajig that I had for you guys, new moon reading that I wasn't able to do on the 8th. But I've heard so many dope things from subbies about my little blurbs, like the little intentions. Y'all gonna fool around, make me put them things on cards, because everybody's like, like what deck that was from? I was like, that was from my brain. Wasn't from a deck. But I was like, that make me feel kind of good. Honestly, like, what, y'all like that? Oh, okay. Make me feel all special. Anyway, so the first card is Surrender Frustration. I don't think I've ever gotten this before. It says, frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. So that's like what I'm seeing with this and the Soul Cyclist. So for those of you who haven't already, oh God, I can't pick up the card. Okay, there it is. For those of you who haven't reached this space to where you feel as if you can do nothing and accomplish everything, you may want to start getting into like mindfulness meditation, like Homegirl is doing here, aligning with yourself. So, and that's just a dichotomy. So for those of you who are, you know, y'all already like in alignment, like, yeah, I knew, like, girl, you just confirming, because the trumpet then sounded then, and I was like, oh, okay. But for those of you who may not be in this space, it's like, this is what I've said for this Sagittarius person that's about to step up. It's like you're stepping into like your process of unfolding. You know what I'm saying? And this is what things are looking like for you. So, and that's like, you know, if you're like newbie. But if you guys are feeling a sense of frustration, like not knowing how to get in alignment with these things. So if we kind of redo the whole reading really quick, and this is more or less like how you feel like you've been living your spirituality, where it feels like a coat that you're putting on, but it doesn't feel authentic for you. This is a call for you to internalize your belief system. So for you to become what it is that you're talking, like walk the walk and talk the talk. So I wish this would have came earlier, Spirit, because if they gone by now. Anyway, but if you feel like you've just been talking the talk, and this is something that nobody else would know but you, you know what I'm saying? So if you feel like you've been talking the talk, but you want to walk the walk, because that's what the difference is. The thing is that you're not doing this being fake. It's like you really want this clarity. You want to live this life. You want to be in alignment. But the thing that I feel Spirit is saying to you guys is that you're trying to obtain a spiritual thing through physical means. So there's no amount of yoga that you can do to get in tune with Spirit. There's no amount of tofu that you could eat to get in tune with Spirit. You know what I'm saying? The key is your personal time with Spirit, that personal relationship, the time that you spend in quiet, mindfully, with just you in the nothingness is how you get acquainted with your relationship with Spirit. So I feel like you're trying a myriad of different things, and to kind of put this reading in a different perspective, it's like that paper mache person is all of the things that you've tried to get this relationship or this connection or this spiritual lifestyle. And that's why it's made a hollow, silhouette of a person. There's no soul that's in it. And the thing that Spirit is telling you, the only thing that you need is you. You are the only tool that is needed for you to be in connection. You just have to slow down and stop. Stay in one moment and get quiet in order to get in attunement with that. And that's for those that resonate with this frustration in the sense of, it's like you're trying to understand what go within means. Like, what is this like person talking about? Like, how do I go within? Like, what does all of this mean? You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that ask those questions, pose those questions, and sit in silence. You're trying to use your brain. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're using physical external means to try to cultivate a spiritual thing, and you can't do that. And where that dichotomy of like spirituality and religion comes in is because religion, that's man's way to God, right? The tower. You know what I'm saying? That's why I realized that the other name for the tower card is the house of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to build something of the physical realm to represent something that can't even be understood nor represented. Like, what are you serious? Like, this is what we're doing right now. And spirituality is God's way to man. You know what I'm saying? So Spirit meets you where you are. You don't have to be nothing. You don't have to look like nothing. You ain't got to have nothing. Like, I'm hearing that Mary J. Blige song, Take Me As I Am. Spirit takes you as you are, boo. You don't have to be anything. There is no standard to live up to. And that's where okay. So how I was hearing something else in the beginning, that's what it is. It's like looking at people who may be doing yoga and burning sage every 5 minutes and all these other kind of things, spinning around 3 times and all this other kind of stuff, and thinking like that's the standard. It's not to say that what they're doing is wrong. It's like that's that person's way. That's what works for them. You know what I'm saying? But what works for them might not work for you. And in order to be spiritual, in order to feel connected to Spirit or to be connected to Spirit, in order to have a divine mission, you know what I'm saying? To have purpose, to make an impact on this world, that is not a position that's reserved for a special type of people. That's not how this works. You know what I'm saying? Pulling from a little Christian past, God is not a respecter of persons. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that there's special people and as if like, oh, I can only hope to be like that. Nah. And I tell y'all all the time, what I'm doing, I'm not special. You do the same thing that I do. Like, we all have intuition. We can all tap into this. It's just all about if you're willing to do the work and to slow down enough. You know what I'm saying? And be willing to surrender. To be willing to literally die to yourself, die to your ego, or the idea of what you thought life was about. You know what I'm saying? To get in tune with this. So that frustration is on a very deep level because you're looking for something, but you're looking in the wrong direction. You feel what I'm saying? You're looking in the wrong place. It's all up in you. Just saying. I don't know how these getting so deep. Surrender to your full power. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. See, that's for the other one. Yeah, see, you sitting over here, you just looking. Better step up on in here. Give me a shout out or something. I'll come to your little seminars, buy your books. I'll be like, I know them. I had called that Anna Reed, y'all, because I know them in real life. They know my name. Hey, they busy right now, but they know me. Next card, the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? Cling on. Remember how I said the tower? You know what I'm saying? It's a little false perception. It's a dropping, bae. It's a going away. It's a crumbling. You know what I'm saying? Don't hold on to any of this stuff. Don't cling on to any of these things, man. It's like release and join with yourself. Now, for you guys, little new moon intention seed at 35 minutes. Did better than I did with Scorpio. Oh, my handwriting is like really bad. What do they call those people who take dictation for you? I forgot what they call them. I need to get one of those. If I ever get big money grip, man, I'm just gonna be like, I don't even know how you say that. It's like, oh no, I think I just scream out dictation and then just put my foot up on a desk like Peter Griffin and just start saying things for them to type it. That would be really gangster. Anyway, so Sagittarius, your seed, your intention seed that can, could have been planted inadvertently in that new moon, or you can plant this into the new moon energy that's, coming or whatever. Anyway, the seed is self-possession. And it says, your majestic aura enchants all that cross your path. A part of you knows that. However, you have yet to own it. Your confidence comes in waves. At times, you feel you can take on the world, and at others, you feel at the mercy of it. We all battle self-doubt. Ups and downs are a part of life. The key to gaining power over these things is putting your feet down and deeply rooting yourself into the soil of your majestic truth. A tree with shallow roots. I'm not going to get creeped out like I did with Scorpio. I'm not going to get creeped out like I did with Scorpio. I'm not going to do that. A tree with shallow roots is at the mercy of the elements. Oh, my heart chakra's lighting up. Oh my gosh. That's my sign for when I know like spirit is really in something. Okay, I'm not going to freak out like I did with I'm not going to do that. Okay. A tree with shallow roots is at the mercy of the elements in its environment, whereas a deeply rooted tree can assert its majesty and stand its ground in the face of anything. Although she may bend, she most certainly never breaks. Wow. Okay. Your mantra is, I'm a dream come true. I'm about to get emotional. I'm so mad at you, Sagittarius. You're on my list. Aries, the Capricorn, and now Sagittarius. This is like, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. I don't know who you are, but I'm so happy for you, dude, because this is so good. This is beyond good. Because I just feel like this is something you grappled with, like, for real. Or feeling discounted for a long time or overlooked or whatever. But it's like, anybody who ever discounted you in your life, dude, they are going to be so sorry. They're going to be so sorry, bro. Because you're like a little hidden sneak attack from spirit on this lick. You know what I'm saying? Like, just you about to come out of nowhere. Riding on a lion. People gonna be like, I know that's not such and such. Yeah, it is. Oh man, these are happy tears because I really feel for you. Like, I know what that's like. I really do. But Dog, like I'm happy for you. I don't know who you are, but I want to know who you are because I want to be a cheerleader. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to buy some tickets and things. Tell people about you. Because this is like revolutionary. And I just have to tell you, first of all, I'm mad at you for making me do this right here. Second of all, it's an honor for me to be able to tap into your energy to even communicate this message to you. That within itself is an honor. And I just thank you for allowing me to channel your energy and to be a part of that, of just being the mouthpiece to speak to you a lot of what it is you may already know or not. But this is beautiful for me. And this kind of got like this with Scorpio. It's like I got all tongue-tied and I felt this coming up and I was like, cut off this video. I was like, bye Scorpio, and just ended the video because I was like, we're not doing this. But I couldn't hold it back for you, Sanji. Like, that's what's up. These are happy tears, so at least I'm not channeling pain. You know what I'm saying? But these are happy tears because I don't even know you. Like, I have no clue who you are. But it's like I feel like a connection with you. Like, I feel like a cheerleader for you. And I want to see you step into this because this sounds so beautiful and so amazing. And just seeing another person so passionate about using who you are and what you know and the things that Spirit has revealed to you to bring people to life and to thrust people forward, like, you know, that's amazing within itself. Anyone who's willing to step into that call in their life is, you know, greatly honored and appreciated in my book because it's not an easy thing to do, especially being on the level of like iconoclast in this piece. Like you're a whole change agent in this mofo, bringing in a whole new era and whatnot. That's not easy work to do, but I just want you to know that you have a friend and she do. You know what I'm saying? So I would be honored to be a part of that any more than I am. Anything that I can help you with, this is me extending my hand, my dear. But I'm gonna go get my life together. So that has been your end. How are these end of October readings? And these are like so serious, dog. Whew. This is great. Well, I love your face, Sagittarius. Congratulations. And I can't wait to find out who you are. I love your face. Deuces.